Welcome back to the Broke Diasporian. It's another beautiful day here in Ghana, and thank you so much for joining this growing community. This is Project Denchira, and today I bring you episode 14, where we show you how we are going to build our Polytank structure. Stick around. If you haven't joined the family yet, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe so you can watch this amazing journey. Looking at these 3D images, you can see that there is a total of 5 Polytank structures. So in this video, I will take you through the journey on how we work on those Polytank structure. This is the list of the items or materials that we are getting ready or we have ready to make this happen. We have, for 12 mm, we need 230 pieces, 16 mm, we need 80 pieces, 10 mm, we need 50 pieces, and then binding wires, we need 5 pieces of that. 2x4s, we need 30 pieces. Cyber, we need 80 pieces, and then a bunch of nails, right? So much expense that I wish I did not have to do, but if you live in Ghana, you do know the importance of having our beautiful, beautiful polytanks, right? I hope you can feel the sarcasm. But I feel like it doesn't truly matter where you live in Ghana. Maybe it's a little bit better if you're in a nicer neighborhood, but even this having a polytank does not mean that you're in a neighborhood that just does not have water connectivity, right? It just means that it's just how reliable is that water that you're getting, right? So that's the big thing, and especially if we're working on a commercial building where people, doesn't matter, if the government shut down the water or whatever, people do need access to water, right? So what are you going to do as the business owner to make sure that people still have access to water, right? They can just be as backup, but making sure that there is always constant water available. So here we are on the actual site at Denchira. My team is ready, and here you can see that the carpenter has already started working on the framework for the polytank structure, right? You can see the bamboo is already up supporting some of the wood up there. In the previous video, we delivered 220 pieces of bamboos, right? Not all of it is being used for the polytank structure, but that was the total needed for the whole project. So that's definitely more than enough for the polytank structure alone. So here we are. Carpenters are making amazing progress. So they need to do all the framework before the steel bender can come in, get his portion done as well before we can proceed to casting. So all these woods there, those we were able to rent, right? So after we finish casting, we can easily or peacefully remove those plywoods there to be able to return it. So like I keep saying, it's much cheaper for us to do it that way. After the wood is already placed, and before placing or putting the iron rods, then you have to put your DPM, right? So DPM, or the plastic all around it. So the carpenters, it's still a carpenter job to do that. So I think that's the final stages for them. You can see there's like it's 5 structures, right? 5 polytank structures that you can see from the design. Each single one is getting ready. And then so this is where now the 230 pieces of 12 mm comes into play. And when I first received the bill of quantity for this stage, I thought it was a joke, or I thought it was a mistake, right? So I made someone else, a different person, give me an estimate, and it came exactly around that same number, and I was just like surprised, right? So this is what I mentioned, that expense that I wish was not necessary, but the country that you're investing in, and what's needed, right? I'm not going to go and do or like get this built without any solution for water to always be available, and then later just cry the victim, right? So if I end up doing these polytanks and great enough, if there is never need and it's just as a backup because there is just good water flow in the neighborhood, then that's perfect, you know. So the goal as well on here that is we're going to build dig a borehole, right, to be able to make sure that maybe we can be self-sufficient here. So you can see all the steel bending work that is taking place. All right, so they have to do all this mesh, like all this mesh around, like on it before we do the concrete casting, right? So again, even with all of this iron rods and everything that is involved, still the architect and the structural engineer will still be the one that determines what sizes of polytanks that will be placed on here, right? After this, it does not mean that any size of polytank can just go on there or can just sit on there, right? So that's why I'm okay paying and having these professionals always around or available on my site to make sure that we do quality work, right? One step at a time, slowly as I can, but with a plan and with professionals. So everything is coming together. I think it's a beautiful job there. You guys see that? And then, so look at the design, right? And see if we end up never needing it for polytanks, what can it be turned into, right? I mean, it's flat surfaces. So what else can we use it for, right? If we decide to remove the polytanks in the future. So, but this is it. Steel bending is almost done. Now, since we're getting close to casting, right? Everybody is done with the job. Now the architect is back on the site just to do his final inspections before he gives his green light for them to be able to proceed. So until the architect, like I said, every critical stage, the architect has to be present and give his green light before we can move on, right? Because after you cast, then it's much harder to do corrections, right? So he comes in, checks it, and he makes them do whatever correction is needed before he greens lights it. So yeah, I think it's worth his 750 CDs every visit, and also was expensive in actually getting the architectural design, but worth it. So work with professionals, like I always recommend, but check this out. Yeah. It's look at the neighborhood too. Like from the, you can see how it's developing, right? So years ago, I remember when we were purchasing this land, how empty it was, and the regret right now is why we didn't buy so many of it. But what did they say? The best time to buy a land was 10 years ago, and the second best time is now or today. So see that, I think he's asking them to do a little bit corrections there, and he's always nice and actually explains the reason why things are needed, right? He likes educating them if you're open to listening. So, and then my team is okay with that, because I'm paying you guys. I'm gonna pay you even if we need to break something down and recorrect it. It's something that you're still getting paid for, so you have to be okay with it. If not, I'm gonna get somebody that is okay with it, right? I think that's the end of another beautiful inspection. Comes in for a few hours. Sometimes it's just maybe a couple hours, but now we're able to proceed. Just a little bit of plumbing, electrical that needs to be placed there before we do the casting. And just like that, we are at the end of another wonderful episode. I hope you did learn something from what I did right, or any mistakes that I did in these videos. Even if I don't mention any mistakes, just some of the things that I think I did right. You may see it as a mistake, and that's your learning from it. So if you haven't joined this wonderful family yet, please do so we can keep growing and you guys can be part of this amazing journey here at Project Denchira and just showing you guys how I earn my daily one Ghana cedis here. Watch out for the next video that's going to show you guys how we get these five structures casted, five Polytank structure casted. Thanks for joining.
Baby, I know we no, and now we